Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered. My name's Joe. In this video, we will be continuing our 1995 SCRAM season in red, white, and blue racing from PLAAY Games. This is the fourth race of the season. It is the Gulf Oil 500 coming to you from the Gulf Coast Motor Speedway. This is an intermediate track on the Gulf Coast, and it is a 1.34 mile quad oval. And we've got a couple of troubles on the card here. If we pick up our track card here, as you can see, 11 and 12 are both trouble. 3 is problem, which becomes trouble in the last 4 turns. This will be a 500-mile, 50-turn race. With that in mind, I did kind of a pre-qualifying, essentially, to kind of get the race week stuff done. So to briefly recap, we ended up with 7 TV drivers. Number 46, Art Farias, he had tire problems, ended up with a qualifying of D, ended up on the bubble stack, but did make the race over here. Number 12, Ernie Maldonado, he had a spectacular week, won the pole and 2 performance chips. As if he needed any help, he's sitting here in first, of course. Number 40, Jack Ventura, he did a charity event and drew a qualifying C, which puts him here in 12th, based on the blue die. Number 34, Kenny Jeffers, he had a good week. He had positive fan interaction and a B, which ended up sticking him in the 2nd position. 44, Fred Shaver, he had an engine change, also ended up on the bubble stack. He is here starting in 38th place. 39, Brunson Houston, having a great season thus far through 3 races. He actually ended up with a phone-in interview and a qualification of C. He is here in the 18th spot to start. And the number 5 car of Vic Holder right here. He got into an ugly confrontation with a fan on television. Not good form there. He also drew a C and ended up here in 13th place. There were only 5 fast drivers. They ended up being Bobby Paris here, then Berman, Talby, Holguin, and Fierro, who had no trophy, so he ended up here at the top of the bottom group. There were several slow drivers. There were 8, actually. 2 of those did not make the race. The rest of them are bringing up the rear. These 5 guys here. Amongst our part-timers, 2 of them, I rolled for them as well. That's a system I've been using. Wayne Montana did not get the start in this race, despite having a pretty good performance in his previous race. He is out, but both Greg Doty in the 66, we're looking at the 89 of Jimmy Vogt, and the 35, which is being driven by Nick Gruber, who actually ended up with a slow week and ended up at the getting in on the bubble stack. So he's right there. So that's it. I did want to briefly go over the standings in the top 5. Standing-wise, Maldonado is in first place through 3 races with 494 points. Lindsey Talby Jr. in second at 475. Brunson Houston, surprising third, 452. Phil Clooney, he's in 4th with 422. And Denny Stoffel is in 5th. He's the last driver to have passed the 400-point mark. He's at 402. All right, so it's time to get this race going here. Let's get it started with turn number 1. We get a 3, which is middle group, and a 7, which is skill. We're going to start with Denny Stoffel. He's got starred skill, which means he gets 2 tries here. And we get a 3, which is good, a 5, which is Kerry Holguin, and the 6 is pretty much unbeatable. So Stoffel moves up. Then we go to Brunson Houston. 5 is too high. Now we go to Pete Pettis. He gets a 3, 4, 5. So the 3 is good. The 4 is Lindsey Talby, and the 5 is also good. Talby has 3 because he has skill and a break and the bonus. The 3 is less than 5. Next up, Vic Holder. 265. So the 2 is good. The 6 will be Dick Exum, and the 5 is also good. And I just realized I forgot to do Stoffel's second attempt, so we'll do that. He can challenge for the lead here. So the best he can really do is make Maldonado spend one of his chips, and he actually does do that. So Maldonado has to spend a chip, but Stoffel remains in 6th place. So now we do Jack Ventura. He gets a 165, so that will mean that his stay there is short-lived. Next skill is Mark D'Amico. He gets a 232. 2's good. 3 is here. 2, 1, 2, not good enough. Greg Doty. 5, too high, so no good for him. Ringo Ireland. Got plenty of gas. 5, 6, 2. That 2 is going to do him in because Ventura has skill and he has the brake bonus. So that leaves Brian Hartzell. He has a 154. So the 5 is Stoffel. Stoffel has 2 skill. 1 brake is 3. That makes 4. That means it's a tie. That means that is that. And we move on to turn number 2. This time we get a 6, which means duel. And we have a 5 and a 4, which add up to 9. So that would be the number 5 cars in the middle group. So that is these 2 guys right here. We'll start with the lower number driver, which is Carol Worthington. He will challenge Brian Hartzell here. And he gets a 4, which is good. And so he gets to take that spot. And Hartzell will have to check for trouble. And he gets a chip. And now Cottrell will challenge Ringo Ireland. He gets a 6, so he's going to have trouble. So now we'll check their escape ratings. Hartzell's escapes an 8. He gets a 12, so he is going to have to... let's see if he's out of the race here. He did get collected. His pit crew's a B. First, third B. Trouble is a 10. So this should be recoverable, and it is not because he rolled an 11. So Hartzell crashes. That'll give us a caution here, and now we'll check Cottrell. His escapes a 9. He also rolls a 12. He's got an A crew. For them, the trouble is an 11, and he gets a 9. So he's good, but goes to the back. And Hartzell is out. And I'll move everybody up since we have a trouble with, I guess, only 1 car collected. Oh, no, 2 cars collected. So that's a 2-turn yellow flag here. Okay, so we skip turns 3 and 4 and go to turn 5. This time we get a 2, which is top group, and an 8, which is star. So star in the top group. No. Yes, Pete Pettis is our first contestant. He gets a 5, which is too high, so that is not going to do it. And now we have Bobby Paris. He rolls a 6, which is also too high. And Kenny Jeffers is the last one to give it a shot, and he also rolls a 6. So no changes there. That was a rather quick run. Now we go to turn 6. And we get a 3, which is the middle group, and a 3, which is a problem. So let's roll for our locator to figure out who has the problem. 46. And 46 in the middle group is driver 4 even. So that would be Adler Brown. So Adler Brown has a problem. Let's find out what his problem is. 55. 55 is odd problem. Pit crew A or B does not happen. His crew is a C, so we do need to check the odd problem now. And we get a 66. Driver becomes ill, unable to finish race. So Adler Brown has to leave the race due to illness. Now we'll see who moves up to take his spot. We'll start with Matt Keener, whose gas pedals is a 3. That's a 6. That's not good. Winslow Weathers, also a 3. Also rolls a 6. This we get a 1 for Everett Davis, so he moves up. Okay, on to turn 7. Pit stop. So we get a 1. So 1 or a 2 is top group and leader, so we'll be checking them for fast pit. And then we have the 3 and 6 that will be swapping. So 3 and 6 in the top group and the middle group. Then we need to check for fast pits. We'll start with Earl Berman. His fast pit number is a 6. No. Stoffel's an 8. Yes. Pettis is a 10. Yes. Ventura is an 11. Yes. Not by much. Paris is a 9. That's a no. And Jeffers is a 4. And that's also a no. And now we have to do Maldonado, who's a 10. And that is a yes. So he gets a second chip back and maintains his spot for now. And that is that. Let's see who challenges off pit row. 6. That is Berman. And he gets no. That's a no. All right. Okay, turn number 8. 4, middle group. And 5 is TV. TV drivers in the middle group. There are 2 of them, Vic Holder and Brunson Houston. So Holder gets a 3-2-2. So that's Pettis. And the brakes aren't good enough because he's got 2. So now we'll check Houston. And he gets a 1-5-5. So that's actually going to probably work. That was a 5. So he's going to take Bobby Paris's place. Brunson Houston continues to impress in the early going of the season here. That is turn number 8. On to 9. 6, we have another duel. This time it's 9 again. So we're going to have the same thing. These 2 cars right here. So Holguin, Fierro's going to pass. So Holguin will attempt to get to take on Ireland instead of trying to go up here and take Worthington's chip. So he gets a 3. So that works, and Holguin takes over the 9 spot from Ringo Ireland, who now has to check for a trouble result. So his escape is a 6, which isn't great, and he's collected. He's got himself a wreck, so now we'll check him. He's a C. We're still in the middle, first third rather, 9 or less, and he's good, but he goes to the back. Goes to the back. All right, so that just means everybody moves up 1. We don't have to check. We are going to have a yellow flag. We go on to turn number 10. And it's a 5, which is bottom group, and an 8, which is star. So star in the bottom group, so we get to start with Ringo Ireland. And he rolls a 6, so he's not going anywhere. Jimmy Cottrell, 1, 3, 4. So 1, 3, 4. So 3. So he's looking at Everett Davis, and the 4 is certainly good enough. So I've sleeved my cards, as you probably have noticed, which I'm still adjusting to, but they do make them a little easier to move. Eddie Rader is actually a star as well, but he rolled a 5, so that isn't going to work. Next star is Ralph Roach, 5, 3, 6. So 3 even is Clooney, and that is going to be good enough. Clooney has 3 breaks with the bonus and the fact that he's also a star. Actually, there is no bonus. He only gets 2. All right, so Andy McGreevy, 2, 6, 4. That's Exum. Exum's a double star plus 1 is only 3, and he rolled a 4, so Exum is going to get taken out. Falls to the back. Not good. Not good for Dick Exum there. Art Farias, 2, 6, 5. So that is Keener. And Farias is going to take that spot. All right. Next is Jimmy Vogt, 1, 4, 2. Well, that would be Talby. And actually, he's not a star, so that actually works. So Orlando Longo, 3, 1, 6. That would be Carol Worthington, and that would be good, so he's going to have to spend his chip. Then we have Lemon Resendez. He rolls a 5, so that's too high. Craig Felder rolls a 1, 6, 5. So that's McGreevy. So that does work. And that is the end of that. So we are now through turn 10. Go to turn 11. 3 middle group. 8 is, again, star. So Farias can attempt to move up. Wow, these guys just got here. That's too high. Felder. 3 is good. 2 is Pettis. Pettis has a chip. We'll need to spend it. Now we go to Vic Holder. 1, 4, 6. So the 4 is Jeffers. So Holder can take that spot. Now we have Bobby Paris here. 2, 1, 5. So he's looking at Ventura, and that would be good enough. So Ventura is going to spend his chip. Vogt. 1, 6, 4. Guess what? He's actually moving all the way up into the top group. All right. Jimmy Cottrell rolled a 2 6s. Ralph Roach. 1, 3, 3. That's Stoffel. Not a star. It does have the bonus, but only 1 break. He's going to have to spend his chip. Greg Doty. 1, 4, 4. So that's Holder. That will work. Kerry Holgren. 2, 5, 1. That is going to not be good enough because of the break bonus. And Carol Worthington, last one here. Rolled 2 6s. That isn't going to work. So that ends turn 11. And we move on to turn number 12. 1, top group, and 6 is Smart. So Smart in the top group. Bronson Houston. 2, 6, 1. So the 1 is going to do him in because Maldonado's got 2 chips for one thing, but he can only be beat on a 6 anyway. I think. Yeah, he starred Smart, so 2, 4. He actually can't be beat. But we can see if we can make. Actually, I don't think we even need to check this because with 2 chips. Well, no, he's got double Smart, which is 2, double break, which is 4, and the 2 break bonus gives him 6. So he can't even lose a chip. We're just gonna say that this one's done. That was turn 12. We go to turn 13. And we get a 3 and a 7. So 3 is middle group and 7 is skill. Skill in the middle group. Craig Felder. Nope. Earl Berman Jr. Nope. Ralph Roach. 2, 3, 6. D'Amico. No. And he's the last one to have snow. Worthington has snow. 3, 1, 2. Well, he's got Smart and the bonus, so that ends turn 13. No real movement, really, except for Ralph Roach. Top group, and 8 is Star. So Star in the top group. We're going through this again, which means this time we can get him with a 6 because he only has 1. Star plus 2 is 3, plus 2 more is 5. So Vote gets a 2, but the blue is a 1, so that's not going to be good enough. We need a blue 6. Blue 6. Looking for Star. Doty. No. Roach. Yes. 5 is good. 6 is good. He has to spend a chip. He doesn't lose his spot, but he does have to spend a chip. Pettis. Nope. That's a tie. And Ventura. Oh, no. All right. So we go to turn 14 now. 3-5. Middle group, TV. TV in the middle group. Okay. Art Farias. 4, no. Kenny Jeffers. 3-1-5. So the 3 is good, the 1 is Ventura, and the 5 is good. So Jeffers moves up. Vic Holder. 5 is too high. So that ends turn 15. And we go to turn 16. 1-11. So top group trouble. All right. So we start at the front and work our way back. So we'll start with Jeffers. His escape is a 7. He is good. Pettis, his escape is a 10. Also good. Roach, his is an 8. Also good. Doty's a 10. That's good. Barely. And Houston's an 8. And Vote is an 8. And he gets an 8. So there was a lot of ties there, but ties in this do not matter. So nothing happens. And we go to our next pit stop turn, 17. And we get a 4, so that is going to be middle group. And we're swapping 2 and 4. So 2 and 4. Now we check middle group for fast pit. Start with Farias. He's a 4. Gets a 6. Felder's a 7. That's good. Ventura's a 7. That is not good. Fierro's a 4. No. D'Amico's an 8. Yes. Yes, for Holder, he's also an 8. Trell is a 10. That is good. Stoffel's an 8. That is not good. Paris is a 9. That's good. Berman is a 6. Oh, and he gets it. Holguin also a 6. No. And Worthington is a 7. Gets an 8. So that is that. Now let's see who challenges the leader. It is Brunson Houston. And that's a no. All right, so I'm going to reorder this, and then we'll pick this up with turn 18. 2, top group 11 is trouble again. Again, we'll start at the front. Escape 7 for Jeffers. He makes it. Doty's a 10. That's good. Roach is an 8. That's good. Pettis is a 10. That's good. Houston is an 8. That's good. Vote is an 8. That's good. So again, no harm, no foul. Go to turn 19. 2, top group 8. Star in this top group, so we're going to start with Vote. Again, he's going to need a 6 to beat Maldonado. He does not do so. Bronson Houston, no. Oh, he doesn't have Star. Never mind. Pete Pettis has a Star. 2-2-2, so that's triple, so we have to check him for a problem. And he rolls a 15, and a 15 on the problem is cut tire causes wreck, roll on trouble, repair chart, yellow flag. All right, so that was Pettis. He's got a tire issue. So we're rolling on the repair chart. We have a wreck for sure. So Pettis is wrecked. His crew's in 8. We are now in the middle third, or his crew's in A rather. I don't know why I said 8. So his trouble rolls a 9. And he rolls a 7. So he goes to the back. But we do have a yellow flag. That's a no for Roach. Doty. That's a no. And Jeffers. No. All right. So since we have a yellow, everybody just moves up, which means Earl Berman Jr. is moving up to the top group. Okay, moving on to turn 20. 5, bottom group. And 4 is control. So control in the bottom group. And Everett Davis has control. He rolls a 4, which is good, a 3, which is here, and 6 is even, so that is Felder. Felder will spend his chip. Davis will stay put. Eddie Rader rolled a 6, so that's a no. Karen Mabry rolls a 3, so that's good. 1 and 3, so she's looking at Cottrell. And the 3 would be good, but chip. So we go to starred control for Dick Exum. He gets a 3, which is good, a 6, and a 2. So he's looking at Art Farias, and that is going to be good enough. Because Farias has control, but that's it. He has no brakes, so Exum moves up. Now, Exum has starred control, so he gets to see if he can actually make it to the top group. He rolls a 2, 3, 4. So 3 is Ralph Roach, and the 4 is, in fact, going to move Exum to the top group. So Exum, strong move by Dick Exum to get to the top group, and he's now in 4th place. Now we move on to Matt Keener. 6 would be a no. Then we got Ned Garnay. 3, 5, 3. So that is Ventura. He has control but no brakes, so he gets bumped. Jack Ventura falls all the way to 31st as Garnay moves into the 17th spot. Yoder, 255. That would be Ned Garnay, so his stay up here is pretty short. And we go to Lindsey Talby Jr. He's got a 5, which is higher than his gas, so that's not going to work. Buck Trimble also rolls a 5 with 3 gas, not good enough. Hooks Troyer, 263. So he's looking at Winslow Weathers and will, in fact, take that spot. So he moves up. Now we move to Ed Swanson, who has 5 gas. 166. That's Ralph Roach. And so that is that. He moves up. Orlando Longo, 231. The 1 is probably going to kill him because Cottrell does have control. And Barb Garvin gets a 4, which is good. 4-3. So that is Stoffel. He has control and he has a brake, but no bonus. So Barb Garvin gets to move up as well. So Stoffel drops all the way into the bottom group. And that, my friends, is the end of turn 20. So we go on to 21. 5, bottom group again, and this time 6, which is Smart. So how many Smarts do we have in the bottom group? Well, we have Pete Pettis. And he rolls a 3, which is good, and a 5 and a 5. So that would be Chris Yoder. And so Pettis, despite his wreck, has managed to make it out of the bottom group. Now Ringo Ireland does not have Smart. Right? Was it Smart we were doing? I think it was. Yeah, it's Smart. Ringo does have Smart. 2, 4, 6. So that is definitely going to work. And that is Holguin. No. Phil Clooney. 5, too high. Fred Shaver. 2, 3, 6. So that would be Felder. And Shaver gets to take that spot. Bottom group's a little tight real estate-wise for these sleeved cards here. Jack Ventura, can he escape the bottom? He rolls a 5. He has 5. He gets a white 5 and a blue 3. So that is Pettis. He is Smart. He has a break, but he's short 1, so his stay in the middle group wasn't all that long. Now he's in 31st. Billy Schrader, 466. That is Ed Swanson. That is good enough. And then some. Lindsey Talby got a 4 gas, so rolls a 5, too high. Buck Trimble, only a 3 gas, but he does get a 2, 4, 2. So 4 even is Ireland. Smart and 1 break is good enough to hold that off. And then we go to Ralph Roach. The recently dropped to the bottom group Roach does not roll. Good enough. Irv Jernigan with 4 gas. 426. That is going to work. That is going to work to make Vic Holder spend his chip. And now we go to Andy McGreevy. 4 is good. 4-4. That is a problem. We're going to roll. So let's see. We got a 64. And a 64 is engine trouble. Roll for repair. He is a B. And we're in the middle third. He needs a 7. And gets a 10. So unfortunately, Andy McGreevy is out of the race with engine trouble. Last one is Denny Stoffel. And that's not going to do it. So that ends turn 21. And okay, turn 22. 3. That is the middle group. And a 4 is control. We will start with Hooks Troyer. He gets a 3-4-1. So that probably will not get it done. And it does not. The 1 will automatically fail because they get a break bonus. So Jack Ventura. 3-4-2, which also will not work because Houston has control. And he gets a break bonus. So now we move to Jerry Fierro. Rolls a 6, so that is no. Barb Garvin. Rolls a 6, that is also a no. Carol Worthington, starred control. Rolls a 4, so that's good. And a 6 and a 4, so Berman will have to spend his chip. And Worthington gets to try again. And he gets a 5 this time, which is over his gas. So that is that. D'Amico has a chip. 165. He's not going to have to spend it. Vic Holder. 465. Now he will have to spend his chip. All right. Jimmy Cottrell. 234. So that is here. Starred control, break, bonus is 4, so that will not work. Bobby Paris. 344. So he's looking at Houston. He has a chip, so that's going to work because it would work even without the chip. So he keeps his chip and moves up. And that, as they say, is that. It is turn 22 in the books. On to turn number 23. We approach the midpoint of the race. Ernie Maldonado still in first. Top group, skill. We'll see if anybody can challenge him here. So we do have D'Amico has skill. Rolls a 4, that is good. A 5 is good. A 3 is not good. The 5 doesn't matter is what I should say. Jimmy Vogt needs a 3 or less. Gets it, and look at that. Look at that. He makes him spend his chip. All right, Bobby Paris can now take this because he does not have skill. So he can't. Dick Exum can if he rolls correctly. And he rolls triples, so we have to check for a problem. 32 on the problem finder is loose in turn to end of bottom group. Unfortunately for Dick Exum, he goes to the back of the pack. He's having a rough day. Greg Doty, 225. Well, that would only be a tie because he's got skill. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with his bonus. So that does not work. And that is that because Jeffers does not have skill. So Paris moves up. These guys all move up. And we'll see if Houston can get back in the top group. He cannot. Jimmy Cottrell. Nope. Vic Holder. Yes. Danny Stoffel can get back in the top group if he rolls a 5 or less on the red, and he does. Okay, on to turn 24. 2, top group. 7, again, skill. So again, we go with skill. Vic Holder. 4 is good. 2 is good. The 4 is not good. So we still need a 6 to knock Maldonado out, or someone with a chip who had skill, and that's not him. That will not work. Jimmy Vogt does have skill. That does not work. Paris does not. Paris and Jeffers are the only two in this group that do not count. That's not going to work either for vote, and that is the end of that. And Ernie Maldonado continues to cruise. We're entering the midpoint turn of the race, turn 25. And he's still in the lead. It has been since we started. It's 2 top group again, and 5 this time, which is TV. So again, this will keep Bobby Paris out of the attempt. That is no for Vic Holder. Kenny Jeffers. Kenny Jeffers has taken the lead. He takes the lead from Ernie Maldonado in turn 25. All right, let's move on. Turn 26. 2 top group, 8 star. So star in the top group. We will start with Vic Holder. He gets a 3, which is good, a 6, and a 1. The 6 does not matter because we're challenging the leader, but the 1 is certainly not good enough. D'Amico's not a star. Jimmy, vote. 4, no good. Vote with 2 gas pedals. That might be the least on the whole thing. Now Paris finally gets a crack because he does have star. He's 151, which isn't good enough, but he can spend his chip and take the top spot. So we will need a 4 on the blue to knock Paris out because he is a star and he gets the 2 break bonus. So next up would be Doty. Doty rolls triple 6s. So that's going to be a problem check. He gets a 53, and a 53 is handling issues, roll for repair. Okay, so we're going to roll for repair. We are in the middle third. His pit skill's an A, so that'll help. He gets a 4, and he needed a 9, so that's good enough to not result in him being out of the race. However, he does go to the back of the pack. And we'll have a fill check here in a little bit. Ernie Maldonado, 161. So that 1 on the blue is going to prevent him from reclaiming the top spot. So Bobby Paris does manage to finish the turn in first place. Now we have a fill to do. We'll start with Brunson Houston, who needs a 3. No. Jimmy Cottrell needs a 4 or less. Yes. Jimmy Cottrell moves up. Actually, I'm just going to roll for it now, and then I'll rearrange everything after. We will start with Lemon Resendez, who needs a 4 or less. Rolls a 6. Irv Jernigan, 4 or less. Gets it. So Jernigan will move up. I'm going to rejigger this, and then we'll come back for the pit stop, turn 27. Oh, 3 6s. So in this event, and we've seen this before, but because we rolled a 6, we check the TV drivers in the top and middle groups for fast pit on the black 6. The metallic double 6s means that the drivers in these 2 and Jimmy Cottrell all commit pit violations and will go to the back of the pack. So we're going to do that right now. I'm just going to move them here, and then we will fill that in afterwards. So let's roll now for our fast pit checks. We start with Jack Ventura, needs a 7, gets a 7. So he gets 1. Fred Shaver needs a 7, gets a 3. So he's good. Brunson Houston needs a 6, gets an 8. Nope. Holder needs an 8, gets a 6. Kenny Jeffers needs a 4, so that's a no. And Maldonado needs a 10, gets a 5. So that's going to probably result in Maldonado climbing back into the top spot at some point, I would think. Now let's see who challenges our leader here. It is number 2. That is Kenny Jeffers. He gets a 4. So this one operates kind of like a duel in that you only have to beat your gas pedal rating, which he does. But there's no trouble check or anything like that. He just gets swapped around. So what I'm going to do now is rearrange everything. Well, we can check for our fill before we move on. So let's check Houston first. See if he moves to the top group with a 3 or less. He does. And then we have 2 spots here to fill. Resendez needs a 4 or less. Rolls triple fives, which is a problem, so we have to check that now. 34. 34 is tight on track, drop to front of bottom group. He's already at the front of the bottom group, so he's now going to check he's going to go to the back of the bottom group, is what happens there. Now we'll check Longo, who needs a 5 or less, and he gets it. So he gets one of the spots. And we have, what, 2 more to fill here. Roach. No. Winslow Weathers. No. Buck Trimble. No. I almost rolled triples. Lindsay Talby. Yes. And we have one more. Ned Garnay. Yes. So those guys move up. Now I'm going to rearrange everything so everything is all set, and then we'll move on. On to 28. 6 is a duel. 3 is the number 3 car in the top group. Top group 3 is Bobby Paris. So he will challenge Maldonado to see if he can get him to lose his chip. He does not. So now he has a trouble check. We will roll. He needs an 8 or less and gets a 7. So that is good. Does not have an accidente. All right, on to 29. 1, top group. 4, control. Control in the top group. We'll start with Brunson Houston. That's a no. We'll go to D'Amico. Yes. The 4 is, he's got 1 plus 2 is 3, so D'Amico takes the lead. Bobby Paris, too high. He's only got a 4 on his gas. Now both Holder and Maldonado both have control and both have a chip. So D'Amico's stay up here is going to be short-lived. 3, 1, 3. So he actually takes it without using his chip. Oh, no he doesn't. No, he doesn't, because D'Amico has control. So he loses his chip, which means Maldonado is going to end this turn in first place again. We'll roll it anyway to see if he keeps his chip, which he does. Maldonado is back in first. Turn 29. 5. Bottom group 5 is TV. We have 1 TV driver in the bottom group. That is Art Farias. Rolls a 3, which is good. A 1. And a 4. So he would be looking at Fred Shaver, who has a chip. So Shaver will have to spend that. And that ends turn 29. And now we go to 30. And we get 6, which is a duel, and a 2, which is the number 2 car in the top group. So that would be D'Amico. And he will go after Rick Holder here. And he does not get it. So he needs to check for trouble. His escape is an 8. He rolls a 6, so he's okay. That is turn 30. Turn 31. 2, top group. 7 is skill. Skill in the top group. Start with Brunson Houston. 5 is too high. Next skill is Jimmy Vogt. That is way too high. Mark D'Amico. 1 is 4 is good. The 3 is not good enough because he's got a skill. He's got 1, 3, 5. So again, you need a 6, and he has a chip. Rick Holder. No. All right, turn 31. 5, bottom group 5. TV again, so Art Farias again. And again, nothing. And it's 32. On to turn 33. Again, bottom group, this time 9, which is Reflex. Reflex in the bottom group. We'll start with Lemon Mendez. 4 is good. 1 and 3 would be the odd. So Ventura will spend his chip. Irv Jernigan. 215. So he's looking at Ventura as well, and that will actually work. And we have Denny Stoffel. 361. That would be Garnet. He has reflex, so that is not going to work. Jimmy Cottrell, 463. So that's odd. He's got 2, so that actually does work. Doty, 131. That would be Garvin, who has skill, so that does not work. Exum, 4 is good. 5 and 4, so that's Hooks Troyer. He's 1, 2. He's got 3. So that is actually not going to be good enough when he rolled a 4. So Exum moves back to the middle group. Hooks Troyer, tough luck for him. Yoder, too high on the red. Holgren, 333 is triples. He's going to have to check for a problem. He gets a 46. A 46 is smacks wall, internal damage, roll for repair. So he is he's going to go to the back. We know that. Now we just need to find out if he stays in the race or not. His pit crew is a B. We are in the final third now. So he needs a 4 or less. Oh, he got a 7. Got a 1, but he also got a 6. So he's out of the race. Holguin's out. Let's finish our turn here. Everett Davis, 435. So that would be the 13 car of Barb Garvin, and she's going to get bumped by Everett Davis. And we have Eddie Rader, no skill. Karen Mabry, too high on the red. Clooney, 164. So that it would be Jimmy Cottrell. Okay, Farias, no. Nick Gruber, filling in for John Gill, gets a good roll. 3, 4, 6. So that would be the even car here of Jerry Fierro. Craig Felder, 4, 2, 5. So that would be Worthington. He does not have skill, so he is going to get dropped as well. Okay, Matt Keener, lots of skill in this bottom group. 3, 4, 5. So that is the 15 car. Pettis, 2, 2, 3. That's Felder, and that is going to be good enough. Okay, now we get Swanson, no. Trimble, no. Winslow Weathers, no. He needs a 3 or less on the red. And finally, Ralph Roach, 262. So that would be right here. He has skill and a break, so that is not going to work for Ralph Roach. So that will end turn number 33. There's another car bites the dust here. Kerry Holguin is out. Car 33 out on turn 33. Turn 34. 5, bottom group. 7, skill again. All right. Well, let's do it again. Jack Ventura. 2, 2, 4. That would be Berman. That is going to work. So Ventura moves back up. 10th place. Stoffel has starred skill. He rolls a 5, which is good. He rolls a 5, which is also good, but he rolls a 1, which actually is good. So he does get to move up. And because he has starred skill, he gets to go and see if he can move all the way up into the top group. 1, 3, 5. And Bobby Paris is going to lose his spot to Denny Stoffel, who climbs all the way into the top group. Lindsay Talbot. 666s. We now need to check for a problem. 52 is clutch problem. Roll for repair. Pit crew A, which he has no problem. Problem does not occur. Okay. So he's okay. Greg Doty. No. Hooks Troy are trying to climb back up. 565. 565. That is Ned Garnay. And that does work. So Troyer gets to go back up to the middle group. Yoder. 215. That's Irv Jernigan. And we've got Barb Garvin. No. Karen Mabry. 155. There's Bobby Paris. Billy Schrader. 5, too high. Felder. 113. Yoder. That is going to work. Winslow Weathers needs to roll low on the red. He's only got 3 gas. That's a no. And Ralph Roach. 161. Well, that's Troyer, and he's got 2 brake plus skill, so that is not going to work. That's turn 34. On to turn 35. 2, top group 8, Star. Star in the top group. We'll start with Kenny Jeffers. 144. Well, the middle, the white does not matter in this case, and we know we can't beat Maldonado without a 6 on the blue. Vote. So that's a no as well. Stoffel's not a star. Holder is the final shot, and that's a no as well. That's 35 in the books. We go to turn 36. We get a 2. Top group 10. 10 is Heat. Heat in the top group. So Vote has Heat. But that would have been good if he had a 3rd pedal, which he does not. Stoffel also has Heat. And look at that, he actually did it. He's going to make him spend his chip. So now he's somewhat vulnerable. But that's it. And no one else has Heat. That's 36. We go to our next pit stop turn. And we get a 2 and a 7. And the 2 is top group and leader. And the 1 and the 6 means we swap these 2 guys here. All right, now we see we roll for fast pit. We'll start with Holder, who's an 8. He gets a 6, so that is good. A 9 for Jeffers. He needed a 4, so that's no. Vote needs an 8, gets a 9. Stoffel needs an 8, gets a 10. D'Amico needs an 8, gets a 5. And Houston needs a 6 and gets a 9. And Maldonado gets another chip. So it looks like Ernie Maldonado's in a pretty good spot. Let's see who's going to challenge the leader. 1, that's Houston. So we need a 3 or less on the red, and he gets it. So he has to spend his chip that he just got. That is turn 37. So on to 38. 6 is Duel. 9 is the number 5 cars in the middle group. So we got these guys right here. So Exum will challenge Clooney. And the 1 is good. Now we need to determine if Clooney can escape the trouble. He's an 8 or less. He gets it, so he's okay. Now we'll check Mabry. She's going to attack Troyer. Gets a 2, so that is also good. Now Troyer has to check for trouble. He is an 8 as well. Gets a 10, so he is collected. He's a B. We are in the final third. B trouble is a 6 or less. He rolls an 11. Hooks Troyer is out of the race with a crash. So since we had a crash, there's no roll to fill. It's just everybody moves up. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll pick it up here with turn number 39. I misspoke there. We did have a yellow, so that means we are now going into turn 40, not 39. And we get a 1. Top group 7, again, is skill. So Holder possessing a chip that he's not going to need because he's going to bump Maldonado right here. So he goes up to the top spot, and Maldonado drops all the way to 7th. Jimmy Vogt has skill, but he needs a 2 or less on the red, which he does not get. Stoffel has 2 cracks at this. First one is bad. Second one, 3. Skill plus 2, that's a tie. So he's not going to do it. D'Amico has a chip. 255. So that would be good enough. We have to check to see if they keep their chip or spend it. They spend it, but no change is made. And Bronson Houston. No. All right, turn 41. 6 is a duel. 1 and 2 is 3. That is the number 3 car in the top group. So right here. Denny Stoffel rolls a 4, so that's good. So he's going to take Houston's spot. He gets a chip, which I forgot the last time I did this, I think. And we check Houston for trouble. His escape is an 8. Rolls a 7, so that is good. He avoids trouble. All right, we go to turn 42. You get a 3 and a 3. So 3 is middle group, and the other 3 is a problem. Now, in the last 4 turns, which we are just outside of, so we don't need to worry about that, this would become a trouble result. So now we'll roll to see who the driver is. So we are in the middle group. We are looking at a 35, which is driver 3 odd. So that would be Everett Davis. So let's check Everett Davis. We get a 25, which is cooling problem, roll for repair. Pit crew rating is a B. Let's move him down here and see if he gets to stay in the race or not. We are late, so it's going to be tough. Final third, B, he needs a 4 or less. Gets a 5. Ooh, so close. So close. All right, so he's out. Move everybody else up. Check Winslow Weathers to see if he moves up. He does. 43. All right. Top group 11 is trouble. All right. So we start at the top here. His escape is a 10. Then Stoffel gets a 7, so that's good. D'Amico's an 8. That's an 11. He's collected. He needs an 8. Gets a 5. Vogt needs an 8. Gets a 4. Jeffers needs a 7. That's a 5. And Maldonado needs a 10 or less. Gets a 9. So it's just D'Amico. He's an A. A trouble in the final third needs a 7 or less, and he gets a 4. So he does go to the back, but he does get to stay in the race. And since this is a yellow flag, we just fill in from the back. So we'll do that, and I'll come back in a moment. All right, turn 45. 4-12. So this is going to, again, be a trouble check. And this one is going to occur in the middle group. So we'll start with Mabry first. Needs a 7 or less. Gets an 8, so she's going to be involved. Ventura has an 11 escape, so he rolled a 10. For most people, that would be trouble, but not for him. Pettis has a 10, which is also very strong. He avoids as well. And Ringo Ireland has a 6, but somehow escapes. Gruber with a 9 is good. Keener with a 7, not good. So now we're going to have 2 yellow turns. Clooney with an 8 is good. Shaver has an 8, gets an 8. That's 2 8s in a row. Felder's a 9, gets an 8. Roach is an 8, gets a 9. So that's 3 drivers collected now. Whoops. Winslow Weathers is a 7, gets a 7, and Buck Trimble is a 7 and gets a 7. So we have 3 drivers collected. We'll start here with Mabry. She's an A. We're in the last third. Last third is a 7 or less. She gets a 7, so she's going to go to the back. Then we have Keener, who is a C, and a C in the final third is a 5 or less. And he gets an 8, so Keener's out. Keener is out. And then Roach is an A, so he needs a 7 or less. And gets an 8 as well, so he's also out. All right, so we do have 2 yellow turns coming up, so I'm going to realign the board here. We lose Keener and Roach here in turn 45. We will come back for the pit stop because we don't skip the pit. So, quick correction, we're going to do the pit under caution, I guess, essentially. You conduct it as normally. So this is turn 47. Start with our roll here. So we get 3. 3 is, I believe, the middle group. And 1 and 5 are going to swap in both. I believe he can spend his chip to avoid swapping, I think. Okay, I'm going to play it that he can spend his chip to prevent being swapped. It doesn't say explicitly one way or the other. It says challenge and dual defense. Performance chips. Fast pit for Schrader is a 5. That's a 3. He gets it. All right. 5 for Yoder as well. No. 10 for Pettis. 7 for Ventura is good. 6 for Weathers. No. 7 for Felder. No. 7 for Shaver. Yes. 7 for Clooney is a no. That's an 11. 4 for Gruber. That's a no. Ireland's a 7. Swanson's a 5. No. Trimble is a 7. No. All right. So I'll reorder these after we do our challenge for the lead. We get a 4. That's Kenny Jeffers. That is good. So Jeffers takes the lead coming off the final pit here in turn 47. And we'll reorder and we'll start the final 3 turns of the race. Turn 48. 1-7 top group skill. And 1-1, well, the second one doesn't matter, but Exum, the 2 is not going to be good enough because of the 2 break bonus for Jeffers. So Exum fails. Maldonado also gets a 2, which is not going to be good enough. Holder gets a 6 on the red, so that's bad. Vote gets a 5, so that's also not good. Houston gets a 5 on the red, not good. Denny Stoffel, starred skill. 2 cracks at it, and the first one's not good because of the blue 1. One more try. He gets it. So Stoffel is going to take the lead here in turn 48. Okay, turn 49. Top group 11 is trouble. All right, we'll start with Jeffers. His escape is a 7. He gets a 6, so he's good. Houston's an 8. He's good. Vote is an 8. He gets a 9, so he's collected. Holder's an 8. Gets a 9 as well. Maldonado is good with a 2. And Exum needs a 9 or less and gets a 6. So we got these 2 to check. Vote is an A, so he needs a 7 or less. And that's good. So he's going to go to the back, but stays in the race. Holder is also an A, so he needs a 7 or less. He gets a 10, so he's actually out. Well, Holder's out. Vote goes to the back. We get 2 yellow turns, which means the race is going to get a bonus turn here in turn 51. So let me move everybody up, and then we'll do our bonus turn and finish the race. All right, last turn. 3 is the middle group. So our top group appears, well, I shouldn't say that yet. 5 is TV. So there's only 1 check here. That's Jack Ventura. He has a chip, so he will probably be able to move up. 2, 6, 6. So we have these two here. There's not going to be any change here, but I'll play it out. We'll roll to see if they keep their chip. They do not, but nothing changes, and the race ends. So the race is over. A little extra racing there thanks to the caution. We got one extra turn. So Denny Stoffel is our winner. Second place, Kenny Jeffers in the 34. Brunson Houston in the 39 Ford is third. Ernie Maldonado in his number 12 Chevy is fourth. Dick Exum in the 13 Chevy, he's fifth. Sixth, the popular Ringo Ireland in his number 15 Chevy. Seventh place goes to Fred Shaver in the 44 Chevy. Eighth, Jack Ventura in the number 40 Ford. Ninth, Pete Pettis in the number 7 Dodge. And rounding out the top 10, the number 95 Olds of Billy Schrader. There you have it. That is the Gulf Oil 500 from the Gulf Coast Motor Speedway. Our next race will be the Hardwood 500. That is from Eastern Seaboard Raceway, which is a short track. So that'll be the next race, the 5th race. We'll be back with that in about a week. So hopefully, if you did watch all the way through, thank you very much. And hopefully you found it enjoyable, is what I started to say. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Please consider liking, sharing, and or subscribing. Or you can also comment, ask questions, suggestions, etc. Always welcome. But that's going to do it for this one. My name's Joe. This has been the sports edition of Hexed Encountered. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.